they might consider just full blitzing the B site. That seems to be the plan, Tom, but there could be danger here. Still a trap on site, it gets destroyed, and the cam's gone. A lot of control. Smoggy though, with okay, never mind.
No, never mind whatsoever. That has just been a slaughter. Blink and you miss it. Every single member of the EDG side is gone, and well, that's exactly how you want to see it start if you are on that GENG side of things. Clean, clinical. And that's the thing. Okay, it hasn't worked for them so far, this composition, but it's one I like. That you have two agents that can take a lot of map control. I think obviously the one sort of detriment to it is having that single initiator and not having the Cypher. That's the main worry. You can be flanked very easily. So it's something that they're going to have to definitely watch out for, but it allows for an awful lot of cool set plays.
Well, early peak. Kankan wants to get involved. Marshall out. Headshots being looked for, but no bullets landing. And the aggression from nobody has been spotted. They're anticipating it. There's not really much he can do in terms of continuing down that avenue. GENG have been super patient in a lot of these rounds that we've seen before. Anti-ecos, anti-bonus rounds. They're always sitting back, always using their utility to clear up and then catching them on the fall back. I've really enjoyed the discipline that they've shown, especially on the last map, and it seems like it's no different here.
Yeah, I think they've definitely warmed up into this game, and you almost have to hope for EDG's sake they haven't cooled off, because we've seen a lot of different heroes throughout, especially in their Paper X game. We talk about great performances out of Haodong. I think nobody had a fantastic map of Split. But in the last map, I was basically like, how many kills can Kankan get? And if it's not at least 4, they're probably losing the round, which is not the sign you want to see. It reminds of almost EDG of old. He's the hero, and the rest of the team are just looking to try and put him into position. For this round,
30 seconds left.
Expectations incredibly low. Sure, he has a Marshall, which, given the opportunity, could do damage, but now in an afterplant, Lakia on a potential late lurk. Now, there is a bit of a gap being left, but I think Lakia has now filled that.
One enemy remaining.
And it will now just be Kankan remaining. I think they've already, well, they should have spotted the sniper. He shot a couple of bullets at them, so I don't know if anybody's going to want to feed him.
The only person I can see peeking that is Texture. The scope of his own on the Outlaw, and an advantageous fight regardless of where he hits. 45 HP. Kankan's on his way forward. Understandable. You know, he's not going to look to carry a Marshall through to the next, but the Outlaw is holding the angle, and Texture will find that one easily. 2-0 for GENG. Not much in the way of damage done. I think it was just the pistol that was lost on mid. So, altogether, a very positive start to this map for GENG.
Yeah, and that's the only kill that anybody has been actually able to get on the EDG side. So, a very quiet start for them in a map that doesn't decide their fate, but it's still a scary fate to have. Like, bear in mind, okay, yeah, sure, they've managed to beat out Paper X once. There's a chance they'll face them again. You've got the likes of Loud, Heretics, like all of these teams that can come back, even maybe a little bit of chance for revenge for FPX as well. So those decider games are not going to get any easier. Getting through first time definitely has its benefits. Already quite a bit of information, both duelists being spotted outside of that A site. And considering that this is a bonus round, it has some real legs to it.
Especially in post plans here for GENG. If they can muscle their way into a site, we're going to have the Outlaw leading the charge to take opening fights. Everybody on the side of EDG has got full shields. Of course, they saw the Outlaw last round, so you're not going to go running into that with light shields, giving him free kills, giving him basically an AWP upgrade. Texture's avoided the recon. He's in a good position. If anyone does go for that peek just to grab a little bit of info, they'll be in a lot of trouble, but the poison orb's up, and that should keep them back.
Yeah, they've got the information that they are still here. It's the split into middle that could definitely make things a little bit more interesting. Trying to almost bait with the shots. Ow, and they haven't actually seen it. Already first duel going their way, but nice work from Haodong. Smoggy as well, combining. Desperately low on HP, but they've managed to weather the storm, hold them back that little bit longer. Leaving just 2 players remaining. Make it 1. It is a clean sweep. Only nobody lost. Which sounds mental as a sentence.
Yeah.
And EDG, well, after a single kill in the first 2 rounds, they do quite well in the first buy.
Yeah, a very well held push on the side. I mean, this is what I'm saying for GENG. Actually breaking through, I think, is the problem in this round, short of any over peaks out of the side of EDG, but they were patient. They took their time, and they certainly managed to reap the rewards for that. Now, coming into round number 4, I'm a little concerned. Meteor has an ulti online, and it's going to be pulled right away. Into another dimension he goes. He's got to fall back, so he's left his gate crash in towards A main, clearing out this like a recon.
Look how far back they've gone.
And yeah, I mean, they've made the right call rather than being blitzed on. And Karen has such a good angle for the rotate through. There's no way Chichu could have expected that.
Yeah, it's the orchestrator, the conductor from the back of the gun barrel spotted. The start from Texture. It's going to make it so much more problematic. Clearing out these players from the back line is going to be impossible. Bear in mind, they've got snakebite lineups. They could use a gravity well, but I don't think they're even going to need it. Picking this team apart, Smoggy at least has found one, but here comes those lineups. Anybody even gets close to that spike, and they've already spotted both players. Meteor's blinded himself, but it doesn't even matter. And now the Grabwell's also caught out Smoggy. A clean take from GENG with slightly comical close to it, but
yeah,
they won't mind.
Yeah, I've never seen a man look so lost in my life. Meteor today, he didn't know where he was. That was the blind. He sees a player close. He has to run out of the smoke rather than get shot in the head. Ends up getting blinded himself. It was beautiful. It must be so confusing for Munchkin to step into that scenario, seeing them back to back. I think they were shooting for a James Bond poster. 3-1. GENG in a prime position, Bladestorm online, not needed, with full rifles in play for that attacking side, and EDG having next to nothing to work with, just some pistols. I see the clock frozen on the top, and I have to almost think this is a timeout from EDG. This early on, you don't want GENG to be just storming away, and as we can see, yes, it is indeed an EDG timeout.
Yeah, I think it's almost just off the manner in which these rounds have been won. As I said, the first 2 rounds, they got a singular kill. Me too. And then also, the last round, again, just 1 kill. It was only the round that Smoggy actually managed to sort of hold the line on the site. Other than that, they get forced back, but the thing is, so far at least, that those retakes haven't looked good, and it's not your normal composition. That's sort of the benefit of not only having Meteor as that extra space taker, he can also cause havoc when you're trying to go for those retakes, but then you just have Karen and Munchkin. It's sort of like the yin and yang of the team. Like, you've got this crazy aggressive lunatic in Texture, and then you've got 2 guys going, I'm in spawn, I'm line up out. Okay, there's the snakebite gone. Okay, a few seconds. It's a gravity well. And then that's basically the round over at that point. And in the meantime, it's like, you know, the guy that's sweating. You know, the sweaty guy. Yeah. I mean, you've just got Tez going, I'm in the fight. I killed one. And just the others chilling, just having a nice time. It's a disgusting sort of matchup to try and play against. And you almost have to play into that aggressive nature. You have to try and, well, as GB would say, punch him in the face. You have to get up close and personal, and GENG are just so good at denying that.
Well, this is it. We've seen so many rounds where they just pump the brakes right off rip, play it super slow. Early on here, I'm not sure what Meteor just did. Maybe popping a flash through A main, then TPing right over to B for a much quicker paced take to keep these players in position on A. Perhaps even grab the rotates over, but one man is still here. Standing his ground, well, not anymore. Chichu's not standing at all. Good shot from nobody, and an angle lined up, but Meteor was ready for it.
Yeah, this round looking done already. Smoggy, he's going to get his ult online no matter what happens here. Well, unless he goes down to the spike, but I don't think that's going to happen. But the thing is, GENG are just giving them nothing. Every once in a while, someone goes for a slight jiggle peek, but they're just so passive in their spots. Ratty angles being held as well. Okay, sure, as said, you've got players like Meteor who just want to try and farm up as many orbs as possible, but again, that's another player round with 4 players alive. There's been barely anything to talk about in terms of EDG. The finances already off the charts for GENG. If they wanted to throw in an operator, they could comfortably on pretty much every single player. And this now has to be a response, because right now this is looking like a deflated EDG. This is not the team that we were singing the praises about in map 1. Even Kankan at the moment is missing.
Yeah, and that's coming out of a pause as well, right? Like, this has got to be somewhere that you've had your coaching staff come in, like your IGL's trying to pull it through. You call that pause, you touch base with your coaching staff, and you're right back into the fray. For Gen G, I mean, look, it's plain sailing. It's a breeze right now. EDG need to get back on that horse. And we've seen a couple different approaches. The Gen G have shut down each time. This time, though, late aggression on the back of a flash. It did catch one of them, but the other sneaks into the corner, and that'll be aggressive A information for them with a rotate coming through, but the dash was heard. They know Concon is coming around this angle. Two players are lined up, ready to punish, and that was because of Texture being up here in the tube, being able to hear that. Perfect comms.
Again, no success for Concon in his aggression. When they played this map versus FPX to qualify, he was one of the only reasons they were even in the map. Like, he was so aggressive but successful with it. And right now, that just isn't the case. Again, they've sold a ruse, trying to keep a couple of players, but right now it's still split. A solo defender in the form of Howdong, and just look at his HP. He's already low. He's about to come under some serious pressure, and at least support has began to rotate in. Smoggy actually pushing into his own util to try and just get anything there, and it's so easy. They are making this look like a walk in the park, or maybe a walk along the beach. Finally, there's been a response, but just look at where the players are. The afterplant will again ensue. The rats will go back into their corners. There's no hope.
Yeah, this is a very strange position to find ourselves in, considering how we started this series out, Tom. I thought we were in for a quick day, and, well, it might be 3 maps, but with the way things are going, it could be in the runtime of 2. 13-8, 13-5, and Gen G now leading 5-1. The question, how many rifles can EDG carry through to the next round? Already one is spotted towards the elbow, and there's the crunch coming in from Meteor. He gets one, and there's more players on the way.
Where do you go?
They're willing to commit. They're boxing him in. Chichu knows his only chance is to come out swinging to try and take the fight before they pincer him. Unfortunately, nothing is found. Rifles are dropped, and EDG, it's not just their economy that's in the bin, it should also be their mental. This is a really tough position to play from.
Yeah, they're so prepared for everything that they want to do. Concon's initial aggression, I think he's actually caught by his own teammate's flash initially, so unable to find anything on the peak. The push into middle, also, they're just waiting. They're ready, and the second he's dead, it does just look like, okay, now they can go for their executes. They get rid of the real danger. And the only round that they've won so far on the EDG side was purely based off Smoggy managing to get a multi-frag on the site. Again, the ult's being farmed up. Meteor one away, Munchkin one away. They've got a couple of marshals to play with in this round, though. Maybe could try and do a little bit of damage, but that's all the optimism I have left.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of damage. Look at their economy on Gen G. It's not going to do anything, like, short of them being able to completely break open this attacking side in the coming rounds. Good shot by Smoggy. That's Texture down already. Some economy damage. But we need to see a lot of rifles dropped, and really, we're looking for a round win for EDG every
This could be big.
time they run it. Nice position. Oh, no!
He puts his gun away! And instead, well, it's a little bit late, but it still works out for Karen. There was a chance that he gets picked off, but that luck was filthy. And again, look, they're just going to use the Cosmic Divide, get themselves the afterplant. And do I believe there's any hope in the afterplant? Maybe. They've at least eliminated one of the players, but I don't even think they realize just yet where everything's going down.
Yeah, just look up in the sky, see that Cosmic Divide, that'll give it away. But they were looking to clear out any lurkers around, no one to be found. Rifles potentially retrievable. Something. But if you're on EDG right now, the real concern is Smoggy and Howdong being so low. A bullet, all that's needed to take down the final player, and it is delivered easily. That one didn't really seem under threat. As Gen G tighten their hold on this map and on this series with a 6-1 lead. The one saving grace, Tom, is that EDG have 4 ultimates coming into the next round, and they've called a timeout, and they'll be full bot. If ever they were going to put another round on the board, this is really where you want to see it.
Yeah, not bad ultimates for a retake as well. Because that has been their major problem. Just look at the deaths. It's not something I say too often, but look at the deaths over on GENG. Munchkin has died once, Karin has died twice. And that's because they are playing for the late round every single time. Karen's lurks have been sublime, but they're so ready to just play in those afterplant situations. Now, at least with something like a Hunter's Fury, maybe an aggressive push from Kankan with the Blade Storm, they might be able to clear out some of those late flanks. I'm also looking, though, at the fact that he's got the Operator, because he has been getting into a lot of early fights and losing pretty much every single one of them. The gun that pretty much made him famous is in his hands once again, and if you're on that EDG side, we are going into round number 8. Both of your pauses are already gone. That is how dire the situation is right now for the Chinese powerhouse.
Squad that came out swinging on map 1, on GENG's map pick. They set the tone for the series, and that tone has changed dramatically since we left Icebox. They've cooled down on EDG, and GENG coming in hot on Breeze. An 8th round about to kick off. GENG could be on 7 when we leave this one. As I said, EDG have 4 ultis to play with. Bit of a concern, though, with the retakes constantly needing to be played on A, with an ult for Meteor that we've seen used before to just clear this side out, get them on there, and get the plant in. And then if it's Munchkin planting, that's the Viper's Pit. If he takes the orb, that's the Viper's Pit, and a really tough way back through. We're going for a Hunter's Fury, blind as a bat. And unfortunately, it's not found anything. With the orb retrieved, here comes the Pit to cover the plant. Now you don't have that Hunter's Fury to clear your way back through. The null command, it's not in on time, and there's not really a lot of coordination for EDG right now. They're still covering out some of this map. It looks like they want to go forward. There's a flank on the way from Karin. There's really not a lot going for this defensive side, even though it's a 5v4. The odds are stacked against them.
Yeah, so much needs to happen, and I don't even know if they're going to get anything again! Khan got caught with no gun in hand, and Karin is just doing so much damage, devastation. Smoggy, at least, it's just exit kills, padding the stats because the round's already over. GENG are running a clinic over on EDG. The team that didn't fear GENG are just getting ruined by them.
How many times have we seen a knife be pulled out? And that's the second that somebody peeks the angle. It's like a calling card. They're beckoning them in. It's just so unbelievable. Like we mentioned the flank, but I didn't expect that level of impact.
Well, the funny thing as well is, at that point, the round was already over.
They were going for a save, right?
They weren't looking to actually fight back into it, but they're just not prepared for these players to be around. And that's the thing, they're running the comp with more information. Yeah. They're running the one with the double initiator, with the Cypher, and they're the ones that end up looking like fools in almost every single round. The fact is, I'll be honest, I've kind of forgot they even had a Cypher at this point. Like, I just don't think that Chichu has been able to find anything. And, it's gonna get 1 for free. Finally, Munchkin's died, by the way. I think that's only death number 2.
What? Really?
He's been...
I hadn't even copped that.
I think he was 7-1, unless he died last round as well, but even still, he's barely died. But the Viper's Pit was online until right at the end, so yeah, I think that was literally his 2nd death.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. I mean,
and I think Karam will only be on like maybe 3.
The thing is, the trade that they get there, Munchkin falling, it is big. It is removing a lot of the utility that gets them out to sight. Problem is, it was Kankan dropped on the other side. That's your entry. Howdong tries to fill the role, and he's shut down immediately. Lackey is caught in the corner, though. Trapped in there, and the big iron takes him down. Back up. Well, the first shot doesn't hit. But Meteor's most certainly does. They don't know that there's a player sitting on the site. Smoggy has a chance, but I think he just broke the gate crash, so now the info will be there that there is still someone sitting around. There's going to be a bodyguard on the planter, so no chance to deny it. And the real hope, okay, well, that was actually a good chance. Some damage done. The eyes focused forward. Good flash and good punish. Even though Chichu catches one from behind, he's going to swing straight into this op. I like the cage. Great use of it. Great swing. Oh, but he doesn't hit the kill shot. 55 HP, but that's enough for Texture to still be able to duel. And with Meteor coming around the other side, I don't see a lot of ways this goes for Chichu. He needs to be quick, clean, and clinical. Good shot, good correction as well. Meteor forced back, and the defuse is underway. No utility for the Yoru. It's gonna be a dry peek, and it's worked out again for GENG. One of the closer rounds for EDG, but again they lose, and 8-1 we go. It doesn't seem like there's any safe haven for the defenders.
No, that was one of the best opportunities for them. A few pieces of individual brilliance, an aggressive push, some team play that worked out, but they met Meteor at the end, and they went extinct. 11-4 for him, but there hasn't been a weak link. That's been the major issue. GENG have peaked at the perfect moment, as they have done versus most of their opponents throughout this game.
Well, time to lock and load. Go again. For EDG, they probably would have called a timeout coming into this round if they still had one, but they've burned them up. They're on their own now.
I cannot use that.
All on their lonely, just like the round count. Viper's Pit online for the defenders. The way back through, that could help. You see a retake wall on B. One that lets them get close from middle and then pop.
No!
He's out. Okay, cool. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, he's been hunted. Oh my God, the damage is huge.
That's one of the best Hunter's Furies I've ever seen. They just tagged both. That's ridiculous from Luckier. After a first map to forget, he has been fantastic ever since. Back with a vengeance.
And look who it is they killed, Tom. That's your Viper's Pit, down and out of the round. No way back through for them now.
Spike planted.
Oh. Nobody's going to try. He's got some support, but again, there's a smoke to deny them. A Meteor in an aggressive position. Just doesn't seem to be missing a beat. Stolen away by Karen in the end, but 9-1. Whether you predicted the first and the second map, I think you're a bit crazy if you did. But if you thought this is how map number 3 was going to go, props to you. And how is it living in Korea?
This is just so disgusting. Was there... Am I mistaken in saying that there was nothing to give away that player's position? That was a blind fire to Hunter's Fury, right? He's pulled back the bow.
They're both doing it.
3 pulls of the bow, and every single one hit their mark. Bullseye after bullseye. 9-1, GENG are absolutely stealing this series away. They got dominated on their map pick, and then they showed up. They've only given 6 rounds on the last map in this one. Explain that one.
Fake
Either way. The drone's going to give a little bit of info. It really is a bleak reality for EDG right now. We saw on the player cams real frustration for Concom, because it is rare, no matter who you are, that you shut this man out completely, but that has been the story thus far. Even being played with by an opponent. You can see just trying to make this awkward, try and make this confusing, and there's Texture. Even still though, Kankan has managed to take him down. A trade, which I'll be honest, so far has been unusual. A deep mid position from nobody, but looks away. Just as they make the cross, the entire team comes out, and then Kankan peeks into the lot of them. He has had a cursed game so far. Finally, we see there's a Cypher.
He got a tag, Tom! He got a tag!
It's because they're finally going B. That doesn't happen very often. It doesn't matter, though. They're still losing every single fight ahead of them. Chichu probably gobsmacked that they've actually entered into the B site. I don't know where he's hoping to go here. They're so ready for it. He does at least manage to drop the player planting, but it's after they've already planted. And while just as every other round goes, it is 10-1. Ridiculous.
I don't even remember what round EDG won, to be honest. This has been the most...
It was the round where Smoggy got, I think it was 3 kills on the back of the site.
You're right. Yeah, it was the pyramid play.
I remember
Flash
it
up
because
top.
it's the only thing that's worked.
It's the only thing that's happened. Like, you could study this. You could watch this back again and again. I spots.
Oh, look at what they're buying. Look at what they're buying.
Stop it.
Look at what they're buying.
It's the last round of the half.
Look at what
They've got backup weapons.
Look at what they're doing.
They've got backup weapons for days and three
This is the Concom waiting angle.
What?
Where does he peek? Does he peek A main? Does he peek into middle? That's where Concon is. They're waiting for it. This is so disgusting. They know it's coming as well.
Oh no, they know where Texture is. What a disaster. Blade Storm used as well. Upshot fires out. It was Munchkin letting loose on that shot, swapping the weapon over for a Phantom, and they're still keeping the 3. It's just juggled around. Now it's Lakia who's going to be your opper. I don't know how they're running this. You know, you take one shot, then you juggle it over, right? That's your chance gone. Now it's someone else's turn.
Already gone. They're already dropping them.
Oh, no. Poor form, but they do have to make a play eventually. 50 seconds left on the clock. It's time to push forward. Hey, 2 ops on attack. It's still pretty good. Still pretty unique.
Oh, Meteor taking space. There hasn't been a battle or a brawl in this round. EDG have played a little bit more passive. It doesn't make a damn difference. They're being battered. Concon again tries to be the hero, but this time and every time he has been shut down. Haodong, Chichu. Well, there's nothing they can do. A nice shot at least. He'll know where they are. But knowing and doing anything about it is going to be another thing altogether. The plant not the safest, but that's cover. They didn't even need the plant in the end. It is 11-1 scoreline. The most dominant half we've seen so far in the tournament.
Yep.
And it will have to be an even more dominant one if they're going to turn this around.
Yeah, fair play if anybody can beat that moving forward in the event. I'm not expecting to see a much better half than this on any map. Absolutely gobsmacked by this attacking side of GENG. 11 rounds, an EDG that came in the start of the day looking like favorites, playing like favorites, and GENG have found themselves behind. Let's hear from Munchkin, because we sat down with them earlier on.
안녕하세요. 저는 젠지에서 IGL을 맡고 있는 먼치킨이라고 합니다. 제 IGL링 방식 자체가 팀원들이 잘하는 플레이 방식을 약간 돋아주면서 더 잘할 수 있게 하는 게 제 IGL 스타일링이기 때문에 저희 어느 선수든 나 이거 지금 해보고 싶다, 진짜 이거 할 수 있을 것 같다라고 항상 콜을 해주면 그런 방향성을 최대한 밀어주는 것 같아요. 크레이지 라쿤에서 속해 있던 저는 그때도 나이가 적은 편은 아니었지만 되게 성격이나 게임적으로 되게 어렸던 것 같고 지금의 젠지는 그래도 이제 청소년기가 조금 지난 그런 사람인 것 같아요.
Munchkin now just too late to the party, tries, and actually might do a little bit of chip damage to Tui's here if he doesn't get himself out of danger. Tui's taking a lot of damage from this. That's a little surprising as Munchkin now, ready for it, gets it. He gives them the tiniest of margins.
사실 멀리서 이제 유럽 경기를 보고 북미 경기를 볼 때는 되게 다 무서웠는데 지금 마드리드 와서 보면은 퍼시픽이 가장 무서운 것 같은데요. 지금 한국 시간은 되게 늦은 시간인데 경기 끝까지 봐주셔서 정말 감사드리고요. 저희가 남아있는 경기들도 좋은 성적으로 걷어갈 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Well, Munchkin's sitting 10-2 right now. I imagine he's going to be pretty happy with his performance and probably the performance of his team overall. 10-round lead, 2 needed to close it out. The pistol may well seal EDG's fate, and even the best teams in the world will refer to those pistols as a coin toss. That's not a coin toss I'd like to be participating in if I was EDG.
No, I think the word screwed comes to mind. If they pull this one off, we'll be raving about it for a long, long time. But the fact is, GENG, they started slow, they built in map 2, and now they are looking unstoppable. A chance for the first time in their history, not only making it to a Masters, but making it to a Masters playoffs. For a lot of these players, that was a dream that may never have come. And with a roster that many wouldn't have expected to be this damn good, they are just 2 rounds away from making that history and being, well, maybe even one of the favorites to take the crown. Still, the players up against them are not ones that you can be foolish, that you can give chances to, and they have struggled on this defensive time before. EDG clearly not giving up just yet, but this man in pistol rounds is devastating as ever. The lurking Karen is all that remains. Watch your flank.
There's a trap here as well. gets caught by that. There's the info to play with. It will be a legendary comeback. Kankan using Fnatic's pistol. He'll have to channel some of that energy and then some.
Yeah, you need more than that.
Well, it's a mini victory, so to speak, for EDG. 11-2. They've doubled the rounds here with the pistol win. That's, yeah, that pretty much summarizes this game so far. It's been tough.
But that was the thing. We saw that comeback happen because of a fantastic tactical pause.
Do you reckon they'll have one, Tom?
No, not until overtime at least. They've got to do it on their own. The coaches, they mentioned it. I think it was Chichu in the interview we saw earlier. How much they think the coaches really impact them. How much they lead by example while they're silenced. You're going to have to rely, well, either on their opponents eventually taking one. I guess that will be the real possibility. Even still, though, Texture going for a little bit of an investment here. Other than that, not a whole lot to play with. And, of course, you don't really expect any players to be saving too much here for the side of EDG because you can't afford to play a bonus round in the next.
Part of me sees this as a GENG round, but how things have been going. Texture's dealt with, though. And now my odds are switching up a little bit. EDG have site control. Man advantage ×3. And, well, it looks like GENG will fall flat in this eco round. 1 kill for Lakia. And we're at the stage with 2 rounds needed for GENG. I don't really care how much damage they do.
Right-click that.
They can make this a bit more costly. And for Munchkin, he's picked up a Sheriff. He's close to the spike. There's a couple players getting close to ultis. It's 11-2, though. He can do what he likes. Probably just going down to the spike.
Yeah, to be honest, they've had so many plays that have been based off confidence. I wouldn't even mind too much if he tried to just do some damage. They have such a ridiculous lead, but clearly just wanting to make sure that they don't give any of those orbs over to, well, Kankan, Howdong, and instead we'll just go down to the spike. Now, I fully expect that any weaker weaponry here for EDG is just upgraded. You can't be playing a bonus round here. You are too far behind. If you allow them to get to 12, you're playing for overtime, and we are at least seeing rifles purchased up. It's still not going to be the best of buys, though. That's the thing. I think an Outlaw's been purchased in the place of a Marshal. That's a slight upgrade at least, and it will still allow them to buy into the next round. But even with the slight weaknesses, EDG need to win this.
Well, EDG has 3 rounds, and Munchkin has 3 deaths. It's been a pretty strong game for GENG so far, and now the rifles come out. As you said, EDG have some upgrades, but there's no such thing as, oh, well, we lost the bonus, it's all good. No. You gotta win that bonus, and nobody's off to a flying start with Karen already down and out. GENG's numbers thin out, and the A site, well, you see, with the wall already up, I think they're gonna wait for another pulse. When the wall goes down, Kankan might have an opportunity to spray away. Good spray through. It's dealing some damage. Texture's forced back, caught by nobody. This is a good look for the side of EDG, trading out one after another. We said they needed to win this bonus, and it looks like they've got it locked down, but Meteor, yeah, has a free kill. And it's been left to a 1v2. Very winnable for Meteor. TP, I love this. I don't know if he's going to commit. I imagine it's a fake for info, and then he can sneak his way through to the site, but let's see.
Both players sat back. He does take the TP. It's being watched by Kankan. Both players around this angle. It would have to be a mistake at this stage, and even Kankan, one of the most confident players, decides it's not worth it. Smart stuff from EDG. Not going to overextend, and this is the exact start they needed to start what will be one of the most ridiculous comebacks of all time. Still, I don't think until we get to 8 or 9 rounds I'm even going to start thinking about what could be on the cards. And you can see the confidence that's there. Like, that push from Karen is ludicrous. It just goes walking out. But you can kind of understand it at this point when you won that many rounds in a row.
You only needed to work once for GENG. They can throw out a couple of those curveballs. Now, here's the interesting thing. 11-4. A huge lead for GENG. And they decide to call a timeout. Funny, because you mentioned, Tom, earlier about how Chichu was complimenting the coaching staff of EDG, saying how important it is for them to touch base with them. The GENG have given them an opportunity to do so, but obviously they're just concerned about closing this game out.
When your coach is Solo, one of the legendary Korean FPS players, you don't care who's on the other side. But I'll be honest with you. He is someone who was there at the beginning of Valorant. He was there in titles before Valorant for many, many years. He has so much experience that I think they're going to value that a lot more than, oh, okay, now After gets to talk to his team as well. I also think there is just an aspect of momentum breaking. Because the fact is, I think of any team that we have in the scene, you watch Khan's camera, when that guy gets pumped up, you're in trouble. So create the calm. Use your pauses for that. It might even just be a small talk of like, okay, let's calm down. We're not done. We're not through yet. And I don't mind it.
Well, yeah, when you've got a lead like that, you see your players playing loose. I can also understand just calling that timeout to say, yeah, everybody calm down. Let's play the game. Let's just close it out. We're not here to give EDG a way back in. And if you do, well, they will certainly take it. Yeah. Big lead for GENG. Defensive side, couple of investments, but nothing huge. Mostly Sheriffs, a Marshal, and a Bookie to back them up. For GENG, I mean, sometimes you'll see these rounds where you group up, try to play the numbers, but it's such a big map. It's not really a gamble they want to take. Instead, just playing defaults and hoping they can pop off individually. I think really they're just thinking about the next round.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued by a Bucky on Breeze. I'm not sure it's something that will necessarily be expected, but when you have that extra controller in the form of Karen, you can create little pockets for someone like Lakia to play. And as said, his resurgence in this series has been fantastic. And his resurgence in the scene in general. He had to go through being slightly trapped to a one-map player, to being trapped in the tier 2. And now he's been shot in the face. I was optimistic. One of those plays you never really expected to work. Meteor, though, still making things interesting.
One enemy remaining.
But he will fall as well. Munchkin a little bit out of the action. Looking to keep the rounds to deaths ratio the same. Although he did technically die to the spike, which doesn't come up on the scoreboard.
Okay.
If we're being pedantic,
He's died a few more times. But for EDG, 13-5 on last map. Pushing up to 5 here. Full buy for GENG next. Deja vu starts to ring true, but the attacking side has had a good run of things in this round at least. Damage is very minimal. Nobody and Haodong both extremely low to the Sheriff. They're just going for the exit towards the spawn. Yeah, well, Munchkin might not die to the spike. It depends how quickly he pushes out here. Still being watched on the cross, but he finds a nice, safe corner to go down to it. So he'll still be able to buy in the next. 11-5. EDG on their way, but still a long distance left to go. It's worth mentioning, Lakia, well, he's 13-9 right now, 3 assists. He was 3 kills, 18 deaths, 1 assist on map 1. I mean, it was an abysmal map for him on Icebox, but Split and Breeze, he's back in the game.
Well, it still seems like it was the closest map so far, which kind of says how things are going elsewhere, but there we go. 11-5. EDG starting to bridge the gap, and that's one hell of a way to kick off the buy round. I said there's always a worry if this man starts gaining confidence. Well, it doesn't get any better than that.
1 shot, 2 kills. GENG left to rely on a very scattered hold. Look at the minimap. You can see those defenders are going to have big performances when the push comes down. And it looks like EDG want to shove into the A site. This is Texture's opportunity. The drone could clear him, or at least keep him behind this Viper wall as it's about to go up and the push to come through. Texture, no dash. He's being silenced, suppressed, but he still fires back. 23 HP though, and the players are quickly circling him, encircling him, I should say, and finally taking him down. Munchkin and Karen to do it all. Nice shot by Karen. There's an opportunity. If he can buy some time, the flank will catch another off guard, and now it's winnable again. GENG has suddenly found legs in the round, but a snake bite in hand leads to Munchkin's death. Karen has to clutch this alone. He's keeping his opponent behind the pyramid, but nobody jumps up top to take him down. A 6th for EDG. The gap down to 5. It's not quite manageable yet, but this attack side is really picking up some momentum.
Somehow, Kankan is only 3 kills away from being top fragger. I don't know how that's a thing.
They're throwing the AWP off the map. They did. They threw it right off the map. I guess because Kankan has the Blade Storm, he's going to use that for what could be a much quicker round.
Yeah, I guess attempting something a little bit more explosive. Blade Storm available on the other side as well. But yeah, I guess maybe the surprise factor of that operator now being gone. It's not like they don't have the finances for it.
Right here.
You can see the patience. Interesting, actually, considering how passive they're holding in this round at the moment. I feel like that operator could have had some value. They're going to remove the cam with a shock dart. Chichu now looks to reclaim that control, something that was given up earlier in the round, and it looks like they might be about to use Kankan as a bit of a sledgehammer. Information going to be found, though. Already clearing out A main, and I don't know if he's going to get far enough. Might be able to spot some of the players in mid. That would be huge. He has. He's seen that they're still passively waiting. Will TP back to the site, but it means that they're not going to pull any early rotations just yet. In fact, though, EDG are going to use that as a move towards B.
Cage up from Chichu as well. He's making his way around mid for the lurk. The rest of the players need to break through the B site. Viper utility to block them on the retake, but the fight is taken instead. Munchkin blinded up completely, but Kankan can't get it done with Karen on the side. 3 kills quickly found, and even the Blade Storm frag on the flanker. Easy peasy for Gen G. They had a real handle on this round from the get-go, and 12-6. One more needed for Gen G. 6 chances to pull it across the line, and I am amazed by what we've seen in these last 2 maps. This Gen G squad, I don't know if they need to play a 1-map scrim before their next series, but they are just I would, if this was online, I'd say it's 5 different players, Tom.
Well, that is the thing. You look at their last few series, it does kind of feel like that. They always seem to lose one, except for an overtime victory for a 2-0 versus DRX. But that's also just something to talk about. The teams they're going through, it's not like they've had an easy route. You can't sit there and go, oh, you know, they beat one of the weaker teams in their region. They beat DRX, they beat PaperX, they've beaten Loud. These are teams that have all been within top 4 at international events. Now they look to beat the China #1, a team again who's been in the playoffs before, and this time it's looking like it might be theirs. Just 2 kills away from creating history for their organization within Valorant. And it's looked like it is done and dusted. Gen G will be the 2nd team to make it through to the playoffs. For Lakia, it is a return to greatness.
Wow, what a resurgence for this man. Not only on the international stage and scene, not just counting down the years, but even in this series. 3 kills, 18 deaths, and 1 assist to start it out. And he certainly woke up towards the 2nd and 3rd map. But there's nothing that you could do you could say to take this away from Gen G as a squad. This team looks scary, threatening, and they're able to come back from these huge deficits from a rough map 1 to a dominant map 2 and 3. EDG played well, but not well enough today.
Yeah, I think it's been a fantastic showing, a great start from them, and unfortunately weren't able to battle back, but the real story here is with Gen G. You've got returning heroes, teams that have been here before, players that have stepped into this team after maybe having underwhelming previous seasons. Like, expectations for this roster were nowhere near as high